Welcome to the Back to Life podcast, where we explore living well, loving well, and being well. I'm your host, Nicole, and I invite you to tune in for inspirational conversations to get you back to life. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Back to Life podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and today we are kicking off a brand new series called the Seasons of Life. Life is not just a straight path. It moves in rhythms and seasons. And listen, I don't know about you, but life can sometimes feel like an unpredictable weather pattern. 1 minute, it's all sunshine and warmth, and the next you're caught in a blizzard with no coat. Some seasons feel warm and full of joy, while others can feel cold, isolating, and uncertain. And we're going to talk about all of them. To help me navigate this conversation, I have an incredible guest joining me for this series, LaQuesia Love, a licensed therapist in Dallas, Texas, the founder of Love Therapy Counseling. She's an incredible therapist who brings so much wisdom and heart to the conversations about mental health, faith, and personal growth. LaQuesia, thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Nicole. I'm so excited to be here for this series. The idea of life moving in seasons makes so much sense, and I love that we're starting with winter because that's one of the hardest seasons for people to navigate. And you're right, life really does have its seasons. I mean, only if we had a weather app for our personal struggles, right?
Right, exactly. If only there was an alert for, hey, you're about to go through a season of hardship, so buckle up, Buttercup. We're going for a ride. So before we dive into today's episode, let's set the stage for this series. We're going to be talking about the different seasons of life, such as winter, spring, summer, and fall, and how each one can represent a different stage in our personal and spiritual journeys. And what's really important about this series is that we're going to be looking at mind, body, and soul care as life happens, in the good, in the bad, and yes, even the ugly moments. And I love this point because I think people mix them up, and there's a difference between self-care and soul care. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Self-care is super important. It's taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, and setting boundaries. The soul care is deeper. That's the care we give to the inner part of us, the part of us that craves connection, purpose, and hope, especially when we're struggling.
Listen, I love a good self-care moment. I mean, who doesn't, right? But soul care, like you said, that's deeper. And it's about tending to your spirit, your purpose, and your connection to something greater than yourself. And that's where faith-based hope comes in, which I want to extend to every listener, whether you're a believer or not. Faith-based hope is the deep trust that even in the middle of uncertainty, something good can still come out of it. It's believing in a positive future outcome, even when you can't see it yet. And it's the belief that there is something beyond this moment, a reason to keep going, a light at the end of the tunnel. And you know what? It's not a train heading towards you.
Yes. And hope doesn't mean ignoring the pain of the season you're in. It simply means trusting that this season won't last forever.
Exactly. So today we're going to start and talk about winter, the wilderness season. This is the season when life can feel the hardest. It's the in-between, the waiting, the loss, the isolation. Maybe you're dealing with heartbreak, sickness, or loneliness. Maybe you're questioning everything. I don't know, but it's one of those seasons, that you just feel kind of like you're just there. But what if this season isn't just about survival? What if there's something deeper happening? So let's go ahead and dig in. So LaQuesia, let's talk about what winter looks like in real life.
Winter is a season where everything feels cold, isolating. Maybe you feel like you're walking through life in a fog, or like you're standing still while everyone else keeps moving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I can feel, that feeling when you want things to change, but nothing is moving. It's like being stuck in a blizzard, just trying to find your way through, right? And honestly, no one likes the wilderness season. I know I don't. Do you? No.
Oh,
No, no one wakes up saying, you know what? I'd love a few months of struggle.
Right?
Nobody does that.
Right. Winter seasons can look different for everyone. And this season shows up in so many ways. It can look like grief, heartbreak, job loss, illness, or even just feeling disconnected from yourself. It's a season of waiting, uncertainty, and unfortunately, sometimes deep sadness.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of this season is feeling like you're alone in it. Like no one understands. I mean, I just imagine that. It's just that's hard. But the truth is, we all go through winter seasons, and they do serve a purpose, even when it doesn't feel like it. But here's the thing: while winter can feel harsh, it's also a season of transformation. Sometimes things have to die off so that new things can be born.
Winter strips down things to the essentials. It forces us to slow down, let go, and sit with things that we might have been avoiding.
Oh yeah, and this is huge. Winter, so let's talk about like why winter, letting things, and how, letting things die off matters. Winter isn't just about waiting. It's about letting go. Nature gives us such a powerful example of this. Trees lose their leaves, plants go dormant, everything looks dead, but it's not dead. It's just preparing for what's next.
Yes. And we resist that so much in our own lives. We want to hold on to things, relationships, jobs, versions of ourselves, even when they're no longer serving us. But sometimes things have to die off so that something new can be born.
Yeah, that's such a hard truth sometimes because letting go means grieving. And even if what we're losing wasn't good for us. And that's something, I talked about in my previous series. It's that can be so hard just to let go.
Yes, but winter is necessary. It's a time of deep internal work. It's preparing the ground for new things to take root. If we never let things die off, we would never have room for anything new.
Ooh, that's a word. So if you're in a winter season right now and maybe life feels hard, lonely, or uncertain, know that this isn't just about suffering. It's about preparing. But I know that may not be comforting for, for some people. So now let's switch to how to survive and challenge our thoughts in this. Okay, so we know that winter has a purpose, but that doesn't make it any easier. So let's talk about survival strategies. Or actually, you know what? We don't want to stay in survival mode. We want to thrive. So, LaQuesia, what do we do when we're in a winter season?
One of the biggest things, challenge your thoughts. Winter has a way
Mhm.
of making us believe lies like
Yeah.
I'll never get through this or nothing will ever change.
Oh, yeah. Our brains love to take temporary feelings and make them sound permanent.
Exactly. So one thing I always tell clients is ask yourself, is this fact or fear? Are
Oh,
you
that's good.
believing something just because it feels true in this moment, or is it actually reality?
Yeah, that's really good. Because if you sit with a thought like I'll always be stuck, you'll start living as though it's true. Because if we don't realize it, but we live out what we really believe. So
Yes.
if that is going on in your mind, then somehow that's going to manifest or show up in your life. But if you can catch that thought and say, wait a minute, is this actually true? Or am I just feeling discouraged right now? You take some of that power away. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. And that's a game changer. It doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, it means putting them in proper context.
Absolutely. So, if you are in a winter season right now, I just want to remind you that this won't last forever. Seasons change, and you won't always feel like this, even though what you're going through may feel very real because it is and very heavy. It won't last. Seasons always change.
And even now, something is happening beneath the surface. Just like trees in the winter, you may not see growth, but that doesn't mean it's not happening and it's not coming.
Oh, yeah. So it is important when when we recognize the seasons that we're in, if we recognize that we're in a winter season, that things are they're just, slowing, they're kind of slow. They're not as vibrant as we think they should be or they once were. It's important regardless to take care of yourself, no matter what. It's important to, excuse me, to get support. It's important to challenge our thoughts because, sometimes when we are having difficulty, our thoughts can betray us and we could be not seeing the world around us very clearly. So it's important to challenge, is this really true? And most of all, it's important to hold on to hope.
Yes, because spring always comes.
Yes, it does. And apparently it is here now, thankfully, because I am over winter.
Yes, me too.
Yes, for sure. All right. Thank you so much for listening today. That's it. That's all we have for today. But stay tuned for our next episode, in which we will be going into spring. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep growing, even in the winter, and be well.